everyone. Welcome to some surprise Overwatch. To be honest, we were quite surprised too, but we do have a GLEC game tonight that was rescheduled from our spring breaks. As you may or may not know, we are going on spring break next week, for 2 weeks, which is 3 games that we would miss normally. So, as a result, we are going to be sorry. As a result, we do have some games like this GLEC game right here. My name is Aubrey, also known as AirJ. I'm here with.
I'm Jang.
Yep. And we are very excited to get into this game. It is against. I don't know, but we will. Baldwin. Baldwin. From what I heard, this is going to be a little bit of harder game, and it's also actually featuring our lovely Beacon team as well.
That's right. So GLEC game, in case you guys aren't familiar, it takes all of our teams and puts them together in the competing of the GLEC because they're only allowed one team. But for today, the way things worked, the Beacon team is being represented in this GLEC competition, so it should be very exciting.
Yes, it is. Not sure what's going on with the team composition right here, because I believe everyone is here, correct?
It
Oh,
looks like Little Flaps might have crashed or forced out of the game. Yep, looks like that has happened.
yep. Well, regardless of what happens, we actually have some good news since I don't think we've really covered any Beacon games. There's actually a new member. There's kind of two new members, but mainly one right now. We do have a new member. Atlas has joined the team as our sub for the team. He's kind of mostly taking over and getting used to everything for this semester before one of the seniors on Beacon team does graduate. But he actually mains every single role, so we might see him on tank today.
Yeah, there's a lot of roles for him to go on to, and he is an excellent player. He is the only freshman on the Beacon team, so that is very exciting to see. Currently, of course.
But yeah, so we're just kind of waiting on what's going on here. Not exactly sure if he's coming back or not. Lil Flaps did crash.
Oh, he'll be back, I'm sure.
Well, he'll be back, but whether they'll be back for time for the game or not, or if Atlas will have to come on in.
Now, I believe the first map is going to be a control point map.
Yes.
What control point map do you think Valpo might want to see here?
There's a lot of ones I know ones that they will be avoiding.
Oh,
I
really?
know they're probably gonna be avoiding Antarctica.
Yes, that is a new map recent to Overwatch 2.
I don't
And
remember if that's on GLEC. Sorry.
no worries. But a new map is difficult to navigate at the very beginning. And so
Yes.
players want to either take advantage of that or avoid it, depending on how the situation works. And
Mhm.
so I could definitely agree the Valpo Beacon isn't quite fully integrated into the new map. So they're just taking a step back,
Yes.
focusing on other stuff. Some map I might highlight is Lijiang Tower. It's something that Little Flaps as their Reinhardt or any other tank has very good familiarity with, as well as
Mhm.
Scoot going his Sombra? No, not Sombra. What's the
Widowmaker?
teleporter? The teleporter.
Oh, Symmetra.
Symmetra, that's right. Symmetra is super beneficial on Lijiang Tower on certain maps, and
Yes.
so that is something that I could definitely see here. We're asking for the map pick right now, and it looks like BW is going to be picking it first.
Yes.
Baldwin. Baldwin.
Baldwin. Very weird name, but whatever. Lil Flaps did make it back in. They're going with a little bit of a theme right now, so all right. Ah, I see. Okay, so Antarctica is actually available for GLEC. I didn't know it got added recently. But Ilios, Lijiang, Nepal, and Oasis. I feel like that's all of them. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
yeah, Norway. I remember. I remember them not having all of them for a while.
Well, that's just like every competition setting. They can't have every single map available. They got to kind of
Hmm.
pull it down a little bit to make the selection more advantageous.
Yes, but seems like they do have stuff. We're a little slow today. It seems like.
Definitely a irregular time period for people to be playing their games, so the legs might be a little stiff from the start. But we
Yes.
do have our first map pick, being Lijiang Tower, like I
Yep.
mentioned before.
It is Lijiang Tower. We're hopefully gonna get into it very quickly. Our team Valpo is actually going for the lovely Olympic theming, so very excited.
Yeah, so the profiles we decided to match up. So
Mm.
Baldwin decided to have the Mercy kind of profile love hearts, whereas Valpo decided to have the Olympic kind of look and style. Very fun to do, very cool to point out there.
Yes. The teams really do like to make what is it called? Match with like their styles and stuff, whether it be like the Pachamari, Pachamari styles, or different kinds of characters with their like specific characters, stuff like that.
And it looks like we're going in right now.
Yes, we are. So we are gonna start out on this first one with the middle tower, right? The I cannot speak. The tower in the middle. Maybe we looking at what I'm thinking we're going to see. I'm probably guessing a Ramatra on one side, at least.
Yeah, I mean Ramatra's a very powerful character this game, especially with the close quarters. And let's not forget, Ramatra counters Reinhardt, so anywhere
Yes.
where Reinhardt is good, Ramatra's going to be better. So
Yep.
you got to be mindful of that.
And also thinking about this. Yep. Called it right there.
Oh, yep. Little flaps on Ramatra.
Yes, and we also do see Satini. I hope that's how you pronounce it. On the Reinhardt, so they're going to be in for a little bit of a surprise there. We do have a fairly kind of slightly different roster, with only really the tanks being different and the second damage being different. We do have Kirikuki on Lucio, as well as Aram Corvus on Kiriko, which is the same thing as Baldwin. Teleporting.
In terms of Valpo Beacon, this is exactly what I kind of expected to see on the play style.
Yes.
It looks like their teleporters came at the exact same time.
Yes, exact same time. Unfortunately, Sky Kirby does go down, and that goes Scoot. Valpo's down damages. They have to back up. Right now, Valpo's probably going to want to completely retreat and make sure they can get back their damages so they can try and sneak a win back in.
It's that start fight, that first teleportation in, where it's the most hectic, where both players are trying to figure out what happened, where everyone is. The coordination is a little hectic, so it's important that at the very beginning there's some matter done there.
And the first ult of the game, unfortunately, Sky Kirby does get taken down as a result. There goes Scoot again. We are seeing quite a lot of them really cornering on the squishy damages right now, and that is kind of leaving Valpo not really knowing exactly where to attack. They're trying to go around right now, but definitely not a good idea since they were seen from the very beginning.
Little Flaps coordinating with his Valpo Beacon to figure out where to push in from. Trying to get those symmetric turrets out. Looks like they did a good job there. Scoot dropping there.
Yeah, Scoot is not having a good day at all. Looking at the alt economy, though, we do have Kirikuki with Nano as well as Gates. Here comes Gates right out. Actually, the second ultimate to come out, especially since, what is it called? Reinhardt's Shatter is very quick to come out, or very quick to develop.
Kirikuki doing a good job holding that Nano, unless it's absolutely necessary. Having a good decision there. Will fall without being able to take it out, but it looks like Lil Flaps will take over against the Reinhardt, or at least survive.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this Reinhardt is just not doing well at all, and Lil Flaps is not doing well at all and gets taken down. Sky Kirby trying to hold on to take the point, and it just doesn't work. We do see a few ults with even ults on both sides coming out potentially, with only their Symmetra on the other team.
Scoot going for a risky tire there, not getting any value. But
Yeah.
we do have Sky Kirby coming in with his Blizzard. If he could get there on point, you'll have a good time there. Able to pull the Blizzard out, but not enough to touched the point as well.
Yeah, unfortunately that happened right there. Kirakuki was forced to left his ult, and Baldwin had all 3 of their ults by the end of the game. Unfortunate spot there for Valpo, and they're just going to need to think about the most beneficial things, whether it be comfort picks, whether it be whether they be like what tank they should go into, if it should be the mirror match, or if it should be a little something different. I think the Ramatra, I don't know about you, but in my opinion, I think when they first sent in the Ramatra, Lil Flaps went in as the Ramatra, I think that was the better idea. He just got probably some nervous feet. What do you say?
I feel like Lil Flaps is always eager to challenge a Reinhardt as Reinhardt.
Yeah.
Because traditionally he does, when he competes against Reinhardts in his league, he usually holds superior. Beautiful stuff from Valpo Beacon here, by the way.
Yes.
And that's just another beautiful thing I wanted to point out here. In Lijiang Tower, you have 3 rounds, and it's the best of those 3, and that determines the point. So even though Valpo lost that first point, they're very much still in this for this point. And they started out strong with a team kill there, and they have point very securely.
Yes, Suit did an incredible job there, getting, I believe, 4 kills in a row. No ultimate, just using his gun, and that is absolutely incredible. But that's what I saw. I don't know. They are going around the right side, trying to take a little bit of a different approach, and they're also switching up their options a little bit. Very interesting choices here, though.
Yeah, Zarya is definitely a very effective character. The only thing is that Orisa is also very effective.
Yes.
Against this kind of playstyle. Sky Kirby trying to get the Mei wall to block the Zarya out of the healers so they could be targeted. Not quite getting it. Far and Mercy in the back. Definitely a 2-point angle here that they have to be mindful of.
Yeah. Right now, Suit's main job is trying to counter that Farah Mercy duo, and he is struggling a little bit, sending in Sky Kirby to deal with it. Oh, that is unfortunate there with the tire coming in and taking out 3 members of the team, as well as using Symmetra's ult when
Sky Kirby blowing out his Blossom, but with no ultimate or no abilities to protect him.
Yes,
Leaves
nothing.
point vulnerable.
Yep, members on the team are likely quite frozen unless Kiriko had her ult, but ult. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, everyone. I cannot speak.
You're good.
They are going around the back again, with a beat and I don't remember what Orisa's ult. Oh, and Gates. My bad. Yes. Hopefully gonna get some extra damage, and they did block off that Zarya, which is absolutely great.
Very aggressive push by Valpo Beacon, but showing some pretty good success there, getting some picks, taking out some people's Mercy's res being used up there. Healing is happening, so that is important.
Yes.
Oh, Little Flaps will drop there to the Junkrat. That was res by the Mercy. That was a good Mercy res there.
Yep, unfortunately that is everyone except Kirikuki, who is the last to go down. Unfortunately, that is a little bit of a staggered with the DPS just not being able to make it there in time. This is getting a little bit closer. Valpo's going to want to really take this next fight to make sure that they don't get such a huge, Baldwin doesn't get such a huge lead. Unfortunately, not able to take out that Mercy while she was up there.
Little Flaps matching with the Zarya.
Yes, this is very interesting. We do see Justin actually, Sky Kirby going a Reaper, as well as seeing Scoot going Soldier. Very slightly different, as well as a Mercy also being officially on the screen.
Beautiful pick by Scoot.
Yes, absolutely incredible. I'm surprised, no Mercy res though. We do see Tire coming out. Yep.
Tire will take Little Flaps. That's interesting playstyle.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's
Little
not...
Flaps will take the res though.
Nice! That is still nice. Unfortunately, Mercy is caught in there, and unfortunately, that is the team down. Oh, those traps have been a little bit unfortunate from what I've heard from Beacon. Watching their steps and getting caught by those traps is a little bit hard for them. Traps are very annoying, though, let's be
Yeah,
honest.
Junkrat definitely a unique character to Overwatch.
Mhm.
Had effectiveness in Overwatch 1, but I feel like in Overwatch 2 has a little bit more just with the playstyle being a little different. And
Yeah.
as he's a shield break or just a heavy damage dealing character, having only one tank to kind of oppress that is a lot
Yes.
different and a lot more challenging. And
Mhm.
so a good Junkrat player is able to shoot while not getting shot at, and I feel like that's just been a common theme. And with those traps, especially, your worst enemy is standing still in the line of fire, at least in
Yes.
Overwatch. So
Yes. Overwatch 2 has created some many differences compared to Overwatch 1. A lot of different changes, specialties, etc. The one tank mindset has changed a lot of things, but I feel like it also balanced a lot of things out.
it definitely did change the game style. And where in Overwatch 1, you'd see two tanks, obviously. So you'd have your Reinhardt and you'd have your Zarya, and that
Mhm.
would kind of work hand in hand. And that Reinhardt would be a lot harder to kill. Now the Reinhardt doesn't have that additional boost, that additional support,
Mhm.
and so you're able to take a character like Junkrat, and
Yes.
where it's super beneficial to go for the Reinhardt with your grenades.
Mm.
Whereas if you had a Zarya bubble, you'd be boosting that Zarya, and you'd be more hesitant, and
Yes.
so it's a little bit easier to turn your brain off, I like to say, and play against those tanks as Junkrat.
Mhm. Speaking of reworks, recently, kind of recently, Mercy did get a rework, which is why I was a little surprised to see the Pocket come out. Mercy has kind of been made to be a little more of a like run around, heal one person, heal what's low kind of gameplay style, but nobody's really following that. It's just kind of a nerf in the way that everyone typically who plays Mercy ends up playing, unfortunately.
Well,
But I,
Mercy has a incredible ability where she's
yes.
able to res her teammates.
Mhm.
And when she first was introduced to the game, she would res all down teammates at once. So if she was the last one around, she would use her ultimate and res the entire team back. So it's an incredible thing to think about. She's gotten a lot. She's gotten a lot worse, in my opinion, but she's still super beneficial. A single res, especially in Overwatch 2, where you only have one tank. Let's say you trade tanks, but Mercy res your tank back. You have a huge advantage against your
Mhm.
opponents, and it's important to recognize that. And so it's
Yes.
really awesome.
So we are actually going into hybrid mode, hybrid hybrid map, and we are actually going to Scrim's Row, or better known as King's Row. Um, I am expecting Lil Flaps to bring out the Reinhardt.
Yeah, for sure. Or he's going to bring out the Ramatra pick as well, also
Mhm.
very beneficial. We
Yes.
do have a swap as well, Atlas for Sky Kirby. So that's the senior going for or the freshman going in for the senior, kind of
Yes.
passing the reins on, I would say. Very fun,
Yes.
very exciting.
Yeah, there has been a lot of changes, not changes, but a lot of new developments for the Beacon team. After Abroth did leave the team after last semester, it kind of left them in a little bit of an interesting spot, but they seem to be slowly recuperating, which is good. Um, we are waiting for the attack and defense. Oh, Dre 7 best DPS no cap.
All right,
All
then.
right.
Very cool.
Now
Go
entering
Dre 7.
King's Row.
um, let's see what's. Now we just gotta sit and wait
Initiating
for them to choose
advance.
their heroes. Now, like we were saying, Reinhardt is a little bit expected here. We might see them do a shield special. If you don't know what shield special is, our lovely shield team likes to. It's not really memeing because it actually has some strategy and strategic value, but they like to send the lovely Reinhardt off of the
Ready for battle.
top of the very top and into the back line of the enemy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It really depends. But they are not going for this as we.
Can't change the world by following
Okay,
all
maybe
the rules.
they are.
I will say it is an effective way to get the Reinhardt from point A to point B very quickly. So here they're trying to use the Diva to push him up to the top, changing characters at the last second. Not quite getting it down.
Oh.
Trying his best though. 7
Yeah.
seconds to figure it out. Will he get it? Not quite.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is unfortunate. Normally they have a May wall to also help with lifting the Reinhardt up, but it's all right. We do see a Widow coming out as well, which is a very good pick on attack. Scoot does love his Widow.
Yes, he does.
Once again, seeing that Mercy, which would be an excellent pick from the Scoot if he could find her.
Yeah, and Widowmaker being such a great character here with these long hauls and these sharp corners, you're definitely able to get around and find your opponents.
Yes.
It's really beneficial for Widowmakers. And it looks like Valpo is taking a really strong push to control the point, taking down most of the opponent's team. Beautiful fire strike by Little Flaps to finish the Mercy.
Yes, Lil Flaps did absolutely incredible there, managing to get his ult immediately before the other Reinhardt is even able to do anything. That Reinhardt shatter is going to be very crucial for the rest of this game going up. We also see a few interesting picks, including Kirakuki going the Zenyatta.
Yeah, way back when he first started playing Overwatch, Zenyatta was his main. So it's exciting to see it again, and he's looking for some more damage or shield break to serve. And speaking of shield break, I can tell you with certainty, Little Flaps is looking for that perfect shatter, and there it is!
Yes, and he did get it. Oh, getting some very good value, taking 3 with the help of Atlas, our freshman on the team. We do see Aram Corvus hanging in the back, but we are going to hope... Ooh. Atlas trying to get that Mercy. Not going so well, though.
It's a bad spot to be, having your 2 supports alone.
Yes.
Good thing the Mercy did get out of that situation.
And we do see some more of the Rhine on Rhine duel. Suit still sitting in the back, just kind of trying to take some shots. Not getting the best of... unfortunately, that is the Widow going down.
Valpo will
Valpo.
get the point there, so that is exciting.
Yes, I'm surprised we didn't see a Transcendence there, but Atlas taking out 3 and Kiriko on Valpo's side taking out the other. Very good right there.
Yeah, it looks like a beautiful team kill in favor of Valpo Beacon, or Valpo.
We are also seeing a little bit of a change with Suit going for the Reaper instead of the Widow. Just kind of try and get that ult out of the way and make sure it's useful, and then going to switch off. However, Widow on the other team does have her ult.
Yeah, Reaper's very beneficial for these kind of close corner fights, and especially against a Reinhardt, where you can just get really close, and the damage ratio is pretty close. So it's pretty cool to see. Speaking of pretty cool to see, we have Little Flap's shatter coming right up, so we might see a good shatter there. And and here's the Reaper just doing what Reaper does best: close quarters, nearby, dealing the damage.
Yep, that was one of the first people down was Atlas from our team, Valpo. One of the very few people getting down, falling down compared to before. Still looking for the shatter, unfortunately.
Didn't quite get it, but that's okay.
Yeah. There was a nano there, unfortunately, from that Ana, which is going to take down 2 members. Atlas trying to flank, though, with only the Ana noticing. Oh, gotta go for the quick respawn, though.
Yep, absolutely. So we have 2 ultimates on the Baldwin team. We have the shatter of the opposing Reinhardt, as well as the tire. Looks like he did fall to his death, so that's pretty beneficial in favor of Valpo. But we do gotta be careful of that shatter, because it will stop us in our tracks.
Yes. Gotta hold up that shield a lot more than he is right now, and that goes the 2 support units down. Unfortunately, there goes our Reaper, but not before we do a trade. Not another fair trade, but we do have to back up. Not sure when Transcendence came out, but we'll see what happens.
I think Transcendent came out during Tire.
Yeah.
So the Tire can counter Transcendence, so you gotta be careful of that. Reinhardt
Yeah.
going in pretty deep here, but comes back in time for her stealing.
Yes, this is getting unfortunately this is unfortunately a kind of bad place for Valpo right now. We are kind of stuck in this last hold area, last choke point, and the main concern right now is just keeping the Reinhardt alive and using as many of the ults as possible.
Yeah, this corner space is a little dangerous, so you gotta be careful. Looks like Atlas is doing some incredible work, getting 4 out of 5 here.
Yes.
And will he finish them all? No, Scoot's gonna take it from him, but it will be a team kill in favor of Valpo, and they will take it all the way with 2 minutes and 35 seconds left.
Yes, but this does still give Baldwin a chance to reset their attack, reset for attack, and puts Valpo on the defense. Compared to Quickplay, which is actually quite surprising to me, when I switched over from Quickplay to competitive, a lot of people don't realize that you actually play defense and offense when you are in competitive and official matches. It's quite a change, honestly.
Yeah, it's definitely to ensure that both teams have a fair attempt to see which one is more advantageous, more, at least in the moment, which one is more prepared for the duel.
Yep. Going in, we are seeing a Zenyatta also from the other team. And now I'm wondering if we're gonna see a Zenyatta mirror match.
The loud one.
Like
Sure.
because Kirakuki does take those. He does take those mirror matches when best suitable. But the Mercy is also a very good, smart idea. So we'll see what happens. But we do see 2 Rhines going in once again. And actually a Bastion as well as a Sojourn. DPS different. Both of the DPS different and 1 healer different. So we'll see how this goes. See if it works best for Valpo.
Another beneficial thing about Mercy is that they're able to boost the damage given out by a character instead of healing. So it's really cool to have a pocket of a Mercy is what we call it.
Yes.
Where Mercy will stay behind a DPS and give it a boosted damage to really scare off the opponents. And then if they shoot back, they can heal. Mercy can heal them. So it makes it a really good combo with any with any character in the game, really.
Yes, that was putting Scoot in a very disadvantaged position if they did surprise him like that, but luckily he was able to realize pretty quickly what was going on and got out of the way to make sure he was back on point and back behind his tank.
Absolutely. We also have Sojourn with the ability to shift out of a situation, super cool as well. Reinhardt on the opponent's team going right in there to disperse the health of Valpo, and it looks like Baldwin will take the point pretty quickly.
Yeah, unfortunately right there was not much they could do. Lil Flaps was going in to try and take it, and Satiny was just like, okay, you're going in, well, I'll go and kill your backline. And there was not much he could do because he couldn't get to them right away.
Kirakuki going for the Ana pick instead of the Zenyatta, something interesting but very important to have.
Yep. Ana is still very good healing wise. He might be just like, I think we need to go for a little bit more healing than Mercy was able to do, as well as not going more on the damage dealing side of Zenyatta. But
I can completely agree. I also believe that Ana has the best ultimate in the game, called a Nano, which is essentially a very fast-acting tranquilizer dart that when you give it to an ally, it'll regen their health by 200 health points, and it'll give them an attack boost, and when they take damage, a damage reduction, so they take less damage than normal.
yep, unfortunately we did see the lovely shatter coming out from Baldwin, and Valpo was just not able to react with Little Flaps, Atlas, and Suit going down to that shatter. The rest of the team's gonna have to move forward to make sure that they can get in and try and recontest before the next point. We do, no, that's not changed, my bad. We do have a few ultimates coming up. We have basically 5 on Valpo's side with only 4, and a lovely shatter coming out as the first one from Valpo.
It was predicted, however, with Jericho on the opponent's team giving them the anti out of it.
Yes.
A lot of ultimates done there, but DPS both getting value from them.
And this is the first battle they won with only the DPS and support hanging on by a thread. Doesn't mean Valpo isn't in a bad shape though. However, their healers were knocked out during the fight and have to restore their very damaged team back up to full HP. And a little late, unfortunately. Baldwin has just made it back onto the point.
Sanity does have a shatter available, so you want to be careful of that. Oh, and look at that. Don't have to be careful anymore.
Yes, Suit has been nailing these shots. I think maybe the Reaper is just not a good one. And that Kiriko is the last one left alive. Another fight won for Valpo. Only not using any ultimates in that fight, but then again, the only ultimate they did have was Gates. As the last fight they used 4 of their 5 ults. Not the best, but sometimes it gets you in the advantage state.
Absolutely. It was also really incredible to see that Reinhardt was under 50%, then he had that short fight, and then he got his ultimate. So it was really awesome and advantageous, and I do love to see how Low Flaps acts on his shatter. He's got stuck in between a dragon, so he doesn't really have the health to shatter, but he might. He knows Kiriko did her ult thing, and look at that. There we go, taking advantage of that. Looks like there was a sleeping Reinhardt for a second, but it doesn't matter much, because it looks like a team kill in favor of Valpo.
Yes, no ults there. No ults used by Valpo yet again.
Well, the shatter was used.
My bad. Ugh.
All good.
But even then, that's just one ult able to take a fight. Getting put into the advantage state has really helped them out quite a lot. This is shaping up to be a lot better of a fight than the last match. Maybe just a little bit of warm up. I don't know. Maybe just wrong mindset. We'll see what happens. But definitely doing great.
It's also really cool to see that Valpo is going to have 3 additional ultimates coming up very soon this fight, as well as they have 1 ultimate already ready to go.
We do see the potential nano as well, like you were saying. Those 3 ults are very good with only with Baldwin only really having 3, and there goes 3 ults with only Bastion's with only Atlas holding onto his ult.
Nano was used there, looks like. Yep.
Yes.
And that, like you said, Atlas is remaining with his ult. We got to be careful of Sanity's Reinhardt Shatter, as well as Asylum's Genji Blade. So we got to be mindful of that.
Yes, these 2 next ults, regardless of how many ults, even if Atlas uses his ult, both Shatter and Blade are incredibly powerful, and those can easily win the fight if used properly. A Shatter going into a Blade and taking out both of the healers and maybe a DPS is incredibly good. You don't use that lightly, but it seems like they called him out.
Yep. And we do have Reinhardt Low Flaps getting close to use his ultimate as well. Asylum is dropping there, we're unable to use his ultimate. Will we see a Mortar Strike from Atlas? Maybe.
Maybe. It seems like they're both looking for the shatter opportunities. With only Atlas pulling it off, it was not that valuable, but as long as they're not on point, that's all that matters.
I believe Atlas was using that for spacing, and he did get value on the Genji, and look at that, Valpo will win that point, so that's really exciting to see.
Yes. Sometimes it's important to just use ults for spacing, especially at the end. Fortunately, they didn't really have the option. Baldwin didn't have the option as they were forced to C9 off of point right there. They couldn't really do much because of the fact that if they can't stand on point because of the bomb being dropped down from Bastion, they can't get on point, and unfortunately it's either you die or you get on point. Or you die but you get on point, or you live and you're on point.
The options are grim. I can't say confidently though that King's Row is one of the best maps, if not the best map, for the Valpo Beacon team themselves. They're very aware of it. They're very familiar with it. So it's really awesome. Also, someone put in the chat, go in Atlas. He's #1. Absolutely. He is an incredible player. We do love to see it.
We have a lot of freshman love in the chat for Atlas, our new freshman player for the Valpo Beacon team. This is very exciting. A lot of highlighted messages. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, we are going into escort now, which is going to be interesting. Did they choose?
I think they might have chose. They are the hosts of the server, so we think that they are playing Dorado. So I would assume so at this point because they
Yeah,
asked
I
what
think
side.
so. A little bit faster than the previous time. That's good. Thinking about what Valpo might want to do, they might want to go attack again, but I mean, I'm partial to defense going first. I like to see exactly how far my opponents get and how far I have to beat in order to in order to prioritize, see if I can pull up some little more random things or if I need to go whole in on my main, you know?
Yeah. For Dorado specifically, we could see some advantageous high ground.
Mhm.
So we might see an Echo, might see a Far. Those are some wild cards that I wouldn't expect too strongly. In terms of skew, I would be very predicting a Hanzo or maybe
Mhm.
even a Widowmaker depending on his mood. In terms of attack or defense, I think Valpo likes to do attack first. Maybe they do defense first. I don't remember. But I do remember that Little Flaps most likely will be an Orisa here, if not a Ramatra. Reinhardt is working for him though, but we don't know how well it can be working in the continuance of the night. We got to remember, same thing for our casters here, is that it is midterms week for us, so our brains are many other places besides Overwatch. We
Yes.
are students first, so I'm curious to see how long the attrition lasts for the teams here. But it looks like Valpo Beacon is doing a very good job there.
Yes. From what I'm aware of, I believe most of the Beacon team has already taken most of their midterms. So I'm pretty sure they can just focus on the game right now. I know the freshman actually, I have several classes with him, and we didn't have any midterms. So I think he's pretty much in the game right now.
Oh, nice. Awesome. I do have an exam in the morning, so I'm like, ah.
You chose to cast, so.
I happily chose to cast. I would do this any day of the week.
I mean, it is a dream job. It is.
Oh, absolutely. Looks
Um,
like Valpo will be attacking first.
Yep, I mean, I can't really say I like to defend first, but that's just me. I'm weird. So, like you were saying it with the Echo, I actually could see the Echo. I believe some of our team members have been getting a little bit of coaching from Ben, who does pull out the Echo actually on Dorado quite a bit. Any experience watching his Echo, is quite valuable, and since we have him on the team, we can get the DPS members can get advice from him. So we'll see. Maybe there could be an Echo. I
Yeah,
would not be surprised.
for those who aren't fully aware, Ben is a freshman on the Shield team, the
Yes.
highest team. He is one of the best players on that team, if not the best. And he does play DPS on that team. He also plays all roles, but he has been teaching people how to play Echo, it sounds like. So very exciting.
He mainly just helps everyone with every character. We are seeing a little bit of an interesting pick. I was not expecting the ball for a Little Flaps
I
right now.
don't think he's sticking ball. I don't think he's that kind of guy.
I don't think he is either, but I have seen him play ball seriously before.
Really?
I
All right, then.
have. It was interesting. I feel like it won't stay for long, but it has happened. So we'll see what happens right now. Suit trying to get some early picks with Kirakuki on the Mercy pocket. So we'll see what's going on here.
All trying to get some, looks like, movement up there, trying to disperse them. Couldn't quite get it, but got the health bar. You can see there for 1,100.
Yep.
Going back down to 700. It's over.
Yep. I rarely do see Little Flaps play ball, so I'm very curious with the choice here. If we were going to go in ball, I'm more surprised they didn't throw one of our other ball mains on tank, but I understand that this is more of a serious match, and they like to keep their roster pretty stable with that. So,
Yeah,
who
absolutely.
knows?
And speaking of stable, Scoot is doing an incredible job as Widowmaker.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but he took out 4 players that round, or that fight.
Yes, and he is the person up with the most amount of ultimate percentage, with the rest of his team trailing behind pretty much around the same level. This is leaving Valpo in a very good spot, taking it to the first place.
And there's that ball switch that we wanted to see, and there's the Orisa that I predicted there. Scoot getting a beautiful headshot on the opponent's bastion. Can he get the on it? Yes, he can.
And they don't have.
Oh my word! What a beautiful sight to see from Scoot. A little fun fact about Scoot is this past weekend he decided to shave his head. So it was very random, but he borrowed my shaving equipment because I have it for my beautiful beard, and he decided to just shave it all off. He looks pretty great in it. I like to say he looks like a young, happy Walter White, so if you've ever seen Breaking Bad. But he definitely has fun with it, and it definitely fits his character. That's the kind of person he is. He has a lot of fun. He enjoys life. And sometimes he shaves his head. So, fun stuff there.
I mean, it was a surprising sight to walk into the room and just suddenly I walk in and he's shaved his head, and then I can't remember what else. There was a lot of things going on that were interesting.
Oh, for sure.
But we are seeing a Mercy gun. That is a little bit of an interesting sight.
A rare sight to see.
Rare sight, especially since Kirakuki is very good with all of the healers.
Looks like Low Flaps will get his ult out. Will not connect with anybody, and is low health. Ooh.
Yep, that is unfortunate. Valpo's probably gonna have to back up. Kirakuki just staying on the payload just to prevent it from going back a little bit. The only one that makes it out alive is Atlas. So we'll see what goes on here, unless no, they are waiting for a suit to respawn. Oh no, never mind.
Looks like Lil Flaps is deciding to go Winston. Oh, Scoot couldn't quite get that headshot. He might want to ult here. I don't know if he will.
Yeah,
he's waiting for that Widowmaker.
He's waiting. We'll
Oh, and he couldn't quite get it. Will he get resurrected? Will he? Who knows?
They're debating.
Oh, the answer's no.
No, unfortunately not. We are seeing the Winston coming in, waiting for your Suit again. Suit is actually not using his ultimate. He is just going straight into the Sojourn pick. Decent idea in my opinion, just to get a little bit more of that damage and from a hit scan as well.
Valpo was down 3 there, so Lil Flaps does have to retreat back to his spawn area.
Yeah.
And Scoot is getting off the Widowmaker, doing incredible at the beginning, but kind of got stopped there. Going Sojourn, a very powerful character for sure.
Yes. In a little bit of bad spot. It seems like right now Valpo is just trying to figure out their exact way in right now. Trying to get onto the point seems to be their main concern right here. A flanking Roadhog is interesting. Nice.
That
though,
was an
from
ulting
Suit.
Roadhog as well. Looks like they also did their beep, or their Lucio ult there. Is it a beep? Is it a bop? Is it a boop? What is it?
I don't know, but Lil Flops is getting those kills.
Yes, ma'am.
And that is 3 kills from Lil Flops, 1 other from Suit, and that is the rest of their team forced to retreat. And there comes the payload, making it to the second checkpoint.
With over 3 minutes left, too.
Yes, this is leaving Baldwin in an interesting predicament, but they do have several of the choke points coming up, with Aram Corvus staying on point right now.
Lil Flaps is hacked up there, so it's a little bit of a difficult place. But he does have ultimate coming up. Will he deploy it soon? Probably.
Yes. I'm surprised we haven't seen it earlier, but unfortunately a missed Blossom there could be a missed click. We'll never know. But there is quite nice. Roadhog almost down though, and there he is going down.
Scoot getting out his ultimate as well. Trying to get that Reaper, couldn't quite get it. Will he get Kiriko? Yes! Oh, that was the not Kiriko. There's Kiriko, will he get this one? Almost!
Very close though.
He helped get it, and he got the Reaper, so I feel like that's a good trade there.
Yes, Lil Flaps did use his ult there, not getting too much value, but it was still a good choice to use. Unfortunately though, Baldwin has a lot of ults coming up, and they're just gonna want to try and hold to be able to use as many of those as they would like. And only Corvus goes down there with Lil Flaps following soon. A little scattered because of the Blossom, don't you think?
Yeah, that Blossom was pretty advantageous. When you're right there at the end, you want to be sure you kind of get the good ults out. Atlas could have shifted there, but that's okay.
Yeah,
He didn't have the team, so it would have prolonged the death there.
Yeah, sometimes it's just better to get back with your team, so.
100%. We're going back to Arissa here for this point, and Hog has his ult, so we gotta be mindful of that.
Yes.
Will we see that right-click spike on this Reaper or Lucio? Maybe not.
Yes, we do have a Hog and a Lucio ult, but that is being countered by 3 ults of our own. So we'll see exactly how many are going there, and there goes the first ult from Suit. Almost getting 2 kills off with that ult, not too bad. Unfortunately, he was hacked in the meantime, but it's not the end of the world. And there is whole Hog.
A very powerful ultimate for moving and displacing your opponents, but
Yes.
only does damage up close. Scoot will drop to the Reaper, and Reaper will also take your Kuki. And
Yep.
Delta will finish off Atlas.
Yeah, right now, Valpo only technically really has 1 fight left in. RM Corvus barely hanging onto that cart for their dear life. But we do see Lil Flaps coming in, hopefully with the rest of his team, because they need to touch and they need to fight fast as a team.
Yeah, with 5 seconds left, they gotta really touch the point here. So Lil Flaps has no option but to go straight on cart, and so we could definitely, or the other team can play advantage to that, knowing that they have to go there. Asylum will fall with his ultimate being used. There will be a res. Who's the res? Oh, it looks like you can't see it.
I think
There
he got
is.
knocked off point.
Absolutely, there's a Lil Flaps ult being used there. Didn't get a huge amount of damage, but that's okay.
I think that ult was mainly used for spacing right there. Trying to get the people off of point and just being able to move slightly. Lil Flaps is not going down without, and just,
Pushed off cart. Unfortunate.
yes, that is unfortunate right there. Just the tiniest bit off of cart. And like we said, that's all that matters. If you are pushed off cart on overtime, that's game over for your side. You need to switch for your rounds. So, seeing this back on, we are going to try and see what Baldwin is going to pull out for attack. We do have some interesting choices, interesting options, and I think we might see the Orisa again from Lil Flaps. Do you agree with that, or?
We could see it. I also really like Sigma here. And there it is. Lil Flaps loves Sigma on defense here. He's able to hold the high ground and kind of shoot down. And when he does drop, he knows what he's doing there. Sigma also does a great job against Hog, being able to summon his shield whenever he wants and hold it out there for as long as he wants, as long as no one's shooting at it. Great job against Hook there. He also has a rock that stops Hog from healing. So maybe it was a very good read. It's pretty awesome to see. As well as it can counter Junkrat when used appropriately, but like I said, if a Junkrat's being used the right way as well, then it doesn't do an effective job. So you gotta be careful of that. Atlas going Bastion. Excuse me, had a little brain fart there.
It's okay, I've already had too many of those tonight.
Bastion's just gonna do an incredible job going for that Mercy whenever he sees it, or from a flying Junkrat, as I like to say.
Yeah.
So it should be pretty exciting to see, and let's see how the start of the fight ensues.
I think right now they are going for a lot of comfort picks. Atlas was pulling out the Bastion earlier today, and that really helped them secure the fight on King's Row. Same thing with Scoot going Cassidy. That really helped them as well. The only one that I would probably say isn't as much of comfort pick instead of necessity is probably the Kiriko. But still getting some very good deal. Unfortunately, the res is pulled off on that Hog though.
Yeah, but they're still down a person, and they do have that kind of chokehold in Valpo Beacon's favor. Ooh, good hook there by the Hog. Sigma is held low, but he does have his shift available very soon. And all that means is that if he's being shot at, he can be healed instead of take damage. It's pretty cool to see.
Yep. Baldwin is really losing a lot of their team right now. Valpo has not lost a single person yet this round. So they're gonna kind of keep sticking back, holding their squishies in the very back, and putting little flaps in the very front.
Beautiful sleep by Kirikuki there on the Hog. And another thing to note is that when the opponent's attacking team at the very beginning gets taken out, their spawn is right next door, so they do have to wait 10 seconds so that the fight kind of ensues without them. But at the same time, they're able to come back relatively quickly, all things considered. Ooh, gets 3 there, but he does get stuck. That's okay. But perfect combo with Atlas, taking out all 3. Incredible sight to see. Will that Hog fall? Absolutely, but not without taking out Scoot, the first Valpo Beacon to fall this fight.
Yes, but that was a 4 kill by Atlas. Once again, our freshman pulling the team along. We do see a tire coming out.
Valpo Beacon is looking for it. Those that want to get killed by it. They have stayed back pretty far, so the tire might get wasted there.
Yep, it did get wasted. Yep, took too long to find them. It did allow them to get a little bit further ahead, but in the end, it's not too much that will help them.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, they have to push the cart all the way up to that yellow dot that you see at the top of the corner. And you can see that where the cart is now is not very close to where that dot needs to be.
No, and they still got 1 more minute and 30 seconds until they get a little bit more time back. We'll see if they're able to right now. Lil Flap's getting up a little more close than I think he probably should right now. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that was a really awesome thing we just witnessed where the Hog tried to hook him and he pulled out his shield and prevented it from happening. It's really cool to see.
Yes, and we do see a Genji coming up, trying to get Scoot down, and there he goes, well, yet again, being the second one to fall.
But not without taking out one of the DPS first, or a support.
That Kiriko also comes right back on for Baldwin's side, and still, Valpo holding on to 3 ults right now. I don't think they've really used any of those ults, to be honest.
They did use this. They re-got the Sigma.
Yes.
And they re-got the Atlas ult.
Yes.
Looks like they got just the Hanzo there. It's a little bit effectiveness there. But Atlas will use his ult there, but will fall in the process.
Yes, Lil Flaps is in a challenging position. Just witnessing Suit go down right there, and Kirikuki going down as well. Even though he's nanoed, this is a bad spot for him to be in. With Kiriko being his only help, and there he goes. Kiriko is the only one on, and they go as well.
Yeah, Lil Flaps definitely had the fight of his life there. I don't know if you could notice, but in the kill cam, all 5 of the opponents were credited for that kill, which means every single person was looking at him during that fight. So in case you're wondering how much it takes to take down Little Flaps, it's the entire team.
Yes, this entire team has decided that, most importantly, not going after the squishies, we need to go after a tank. I think that is both a good idea and a bad idea. Because if you negate those squishies for too long, those DPS can get into your backline and knock out your squishies, and then you're the one that's left.
Absolutely. We also, in that specific moment, I think Lil Flaps and a support were all that left.
Yes.
So, at that point, I'm like, yeah, I could go for him.
Yeah, at that point, yes, you can go for him. But there are other times where it's, unfortunately, you're just not in the right position to. Hopefully holding at this specific spot, they are doing quite a good job. And here comes the I think that's no, it's just the blade.
Just the blade, but it does get value taking out Valpo's supports.
Yep, and that is unfortunately all it needs to, as Lil Flaps goes down as well, with Atlas and Reaper following suit.
Scoot will use a Blossom, take out 3, but not finishing off the Hog. Are we able to touch without the hog getting the point? I don't think so.
Nope. That is
Oh, so close.
2 minutes and 25 seconds to hold to make sure Baldwin doesn't see that little. If you just saw, there was a little yellow box. That's where Baldwin needs to push it up to. Not quite the end, but right there is where Baldwin needs to push it up to. They have regained their entire team with a little bit of a closer spawn after just getting it to there. We do see a few ults being held on, so hopefully they use them and get some good value, because they gotta hold here for 2 minutes.
Yeah, Sigma using his ultimate there. Kind of overkill with the Bastion ult there, but that's okay. It is a good combo when you get the numbers in. Otherwise, it's just like, oh, he's dead. He's really dead. Good work there by Valpo Beacon for sure. Can't really bash on getting a kill too hard there.
Nope. Main goal right here is just to make sure that they're split up as best as they can. But they are going up on the left-hand side right now. Both teams taking some massive damage, and unfortunately, there's the first person from Valpo to go down. But that doesn't mean Valpo's going down without a fight, with a sleeping Roadhog being left on the point. Unfortunately woken up.
Kiriko ult coming out here.
Yes.
And getting pretty good value there. Reaper is just terrifying in this kind of point. But with the Dragon taking out 3, it's a hard sight to see. And with the cart coming up with less than a minute, everything needs to happen here and now. We do have Nano coming up, we do have Little Flap's ult coming out, and we do have Blossom on its way. He quickly goes for the Reinhardt, but with can they touch? Ooh, not quite. And the map will go to Baldwin.
This is the second map for Baldwin, but this doesn't mean that Valpo is out of the running yet. Not even close.
Oh, absolutely.
We do still have one more game. If Baldwin wins in this next game, they will successfully take this game. However, if Valpo wins, we go to a game 5. And we rarely see a game 5 here. And I would love to see a game 5.
Yep. In case y'all didn't know, it was the best of 5 or first to 3, depending on what happens there. I think it does say it on the stream, so I don't know why I have to say that. But that is exciting. Valpo will choose the next map. So,
Yes.
any guesses on what that might be?
Well, thinking about this, I am not expecting New Queen Street.
No. Okay.
I don't think they're gonna go Esperanza. Yep. I call it Coliseo. It's most people's favorite. Let's be honest.
Now, as a DPS, my personal favorite is New Queen Street. Why is it my favorite? Because I go Sojourn and I get to hop above all the stages and move around and have a good time. Coliseo, you could do the exact same thing though, so it's really fun, really awesome. Esperanza, not for me.
I think I have rarely met anyone who loves Esperanza. There's always one of those maps. There's always one. We are waiting for the ready sign. Valpo trying to think about like the proper what they're gonna do, what their goals are. Looking at this, I am expecting to see a Moira come out for Valpo though.
Yeah, Moira is a really beneficial character there. I would say on our Valpo Club team, so not quite this team, we do have a Moira main who's only played this game playing Moira. And usually that's concerning, except for the fact that statistically speaking and in-game, his Moira stats are phenomenal, often dealing more healing and more damage than anyone else in the game.
It is interesting. We are seeing a switch too for Kirby, the senior, coming back in for the freshman. We'll see what's happening. A little bit of a few changes on the profile pictures though. We'll see.
Yeah, should be pretty cool. Yeah, they do change it up every little bit. So Lil Flaps has all the profile icons. So likes to point out he had the Reinhardt, he had the Zarya, and he had the Doomfist. All 3 of them are tanks in Overwatch 2. But when he got that Doomfist one, I just got to point this out, it was a DPS at the time.
I'm sure you love to think about that because you are a DPS main yourself.
I am a DPS main. I never touched Doomfist really until I found out he was leaving the DPS roster. And I'm like, well, let me say goodbye to him. And then I fell in love with him. So whenever I played tank, I played Doomfist. And I'm like, oh man, this feels weird.
um, so like I said, I am expecting a Moira actually to come out on Corvus this round. Corvus loves Moira. They are the Moira is the person that really got them into um, the lovely role known as support. They're not
Hmm.
going in. But we are seeing a comfort pick coming from Kirakuki with the Zenyatta. That is his main. So I am very excited to see this. Probably going for a more damage dealing based fight, and they're really probably hoping to get this as over quick as painless as possible.
I think they don't mind if there's some pain there for the opponents, but who knows? We do have the Reinhardt going in strong, as Reinhardt does, trying to get to the point early. We do see a Doomfist, though, so that is exciting. Doomfist is pretty good here. Also, against the Reinhardt is also pretty good. I will say, though, our Reinhardt is pretty good. So I don't know how good it can be against the little flaps here. We're about to find out. Using the little platform as natural cover. Genius. He is kind of damage orbed, which means he'll take damage a little harder than normal, but he's playing kind of smart because of it.
Yep, and unfortunately, that Doomfist did get into her backline, knocking out Kirakuki, and then Lil Flaps goes down, unfortunately, as well, with Sky Kirby leaving the fight as fast as he can.
Yeah, and that's what Doomfist does really best there, is he puts someone in a position, displaces them, and then just hits them like a brick. The idea is just make them unaware of their surroundings so that you can just capitalize on it. And so now we're going to Orisa. Orisa's really good here because she can just shift out of a Doomfist punch. So as you see the shift right here, you can't really damage that with a Doomfist mentality. We also see an Echo play from Skew, so that's pretty exciting to see. Echo is just very advantageous here. Does a great job against that kind of E-fist that we see Doomfist doing there. It's really cool to see.
We are also seeing an Ana coming in from Kirakuki and immediately getting heavy value with healing as well. So
looks like Doomfist is ulting right on the Orisa. Orisa will fall because of that.
Unfortunately for our team, but that doesn't mean that we do get that Genji down as well. Kiriko from Baldwin just kind of hiding in the back there. We do have a few ults coming in potentially. Unfortunately, though, Baldwin does hit the first location, which is not good.
No, for sure not. Doomfist coming in, but couldn't quite hit the little flash, but was looking for Kirakuki there. Good decision there with the Doomfist as Little Flaps was shifting, which was making it ineffective to be punched.
Yes. They are mainly focusing their supports right now, and this is leaving Valpo in a very bad position. Their supports have been almost unable to get off like any ults either, and the robot is getting very close, and this is not where you want to be at the very beginning of the match within the first minute.
Oh, absolutely. Looks like Echo might be able to finish that. Yep, finishes off the Genji, so that's really exciting. And this is the first Valpo beacon or Valpo team push here from now. So that's really exciting to see. Looks like they're pushing them all the way back to where their original push was. Now they have quite the push to do, but I think they truly can do it.
Yes, what mainly needs to happen right now is they need to get there to very close to the close spawn point, or also known as the halfway mark, which moves the spawn point up quite a bit closer. We are seeing quite a bit of fighting right now. This Doomfist is mainly being the problem child for them, with Genji and Hanzo taking out people as well. There goes 4 members of the team, with only Lil Flaps being the only remainder, as well as going down shortly thereafter.
Now, Valpo Beacon, I'm confident can win the next fight, and I know this because they have 5 ultimates, and those 5 ultimates are really strong ultimates too. So it's not like they're going in empty-handed to the next fight. So they do have to play against 3 of the opponent's ultimates, but I feel like the 5 ultimates is a really good ratio, and with the ultimates they do have available, it should be quite the sight to see.
But this still doesn't stop them from doing their own, as well as Scoop pulling out the Doomfist for the Echo. This makes him, he doesn't have as much health as Doomfist, but he's still able to do Doomfist things.
I love that, doing Doomfist things, absolutely.
I mean, he does have the entire moveset of Doomfist, so
that's right.
That is Doomfist things.
So Echo, it's not just in the name. She does, her ability is to copy the opponent's abilities as well as their ultimate. So and it regens it quicker and all that stuff. The only drawback is if you copy a tank, you don't get the same health. And so with Doomfist, she didn't have the same amount of health, but she was able to deal the damage and play like a Doomfist, giving the team 2 tanks. So that's really cool to see. Pretty exciting.
Yes, and regardless of how much, and even if she dies, well, in that state, technically she doesn't even lose it. She just loses the copy. So we do see an ult, unfortunately, kind of wasted right there.
Yeah, an attempt to get spacing maybe, not quite coming to fruition, I would say.
Yeah, unfortunately right there, leaving Sky Kirby is the only one really on the point. Corvus also being able to get in, cause a little bit of separation, causing them to a little bit split up, but not creating so much of a distraction, just preventing them from getting on the point a little faster.
On in a pickle and a hard, or a rock in a hard place, finding Doomfist fist to meet the way, and we have a tank swap with Ramatra.
Yes, Ramatra is probably a better idea right now, just because that Orisa was not working as well as anyone from Valpo would like. We are seeing the dragon come on out.
And the damage is dealt. We do see a Blossom taking out Barf Boy. I just realized that name now. But we do have Baldwin ultimate coming out on Kirikuki, and Doomfist does have his fist, and he's looking like he's going to use it for spacing maybe. Valpo does have to touch the point here if they want to go for any kind of secured victory.
Yes, and Valpo does manage to get this point right now. Going after those supports, trying to split them up. Right now, they are just not really getting them to split up at all, though. All that matters, though, they do have the robot, even though it is very close. That barricade is very close to their spawn, and right now, Lil Flaps is very low.
Yeah, Valpo has just over 3 minutes to push the cart effectively all the way. So it definitely is a hard thing for Valpo Beacon to do. But I believe they can really do it if they pull it together, get the teamwork. Ramatra is a pretty good burst here.
Yes.
We do see a freeze here. Freezes are pretty effective, at least in spacing. And so and it forced out the Zen ult, which is one of the best ults in the game. So it's good that they brought that out.
Yes, we are waiting still for that annihilation to potentially come out from Ramatra Little Flaps. It is kind of just in that little waiting zone, waiting for it to come on out.
And I think he might use it soon. He's got all the opponents stacked in one area. But Doomfist is coming in hot, as I like to say, and leaving just as hot.
Hey, sometimes it might just be the best thing to back out while you have the chance. We do see Kirikuki on the point right now, and this is where I'm thinking the best time to do annihilation might be.
There's the nano comes out. I don't know who it attaches to.
It's on Little Flaps.
Oh, yes it is. And there he goes on his rampage, trying to make sure things happen. Oh, and that looks pretty aggressive there. Very scary for the opponents. Not for a Beacon, or not for Valpo. Will he get him? Will he get him? Yes, he will. Will he get the Genji? Yes, he will. What about the Doomfist?
That's the only one left. And all he needs to do is get slightly back on point.
His Doomfist does have quite a bit of health.
Though, this is leaving him in a very bad position with Lil Flaps going down just shortly after, pushing it a little bit further, but not quite to that checkpoint right now. They got him.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say a close fight by Valpo. We do have Blossom on its way, as well as Kiriko's ultimate Gates. That's right.
This is a very bad spot for Valpo right now. Lil Flaps is at 50% ult though, which is quite good for just having used it like less than a few minutes ago. Blossom coming out, getting the Zenyatta. Oh, and also that amazing wall. Valpo is giving Baldwin the run of their life.
Yeah, definitely scaring them all the way back. pushing the robots some more.
It's fine. Most people still call it a cart. This is a very tough fight with Valpo. Almost, we're so close, yet so far from that checkpoint. Valpo just gonna try and hold on with Lil Flaps getting in there first. Just trying to get in. Mainly that main problem right now is that Zenyatta, who is creating a lot of the healing for them. Separating the Genji, but unfortunately Zenyatta is able to get in with that healing. And there is another blade!
We will see Ramatras will come out as soon as possible, I imagine.
Yeah, I'm surprised it hasn't come out yet. Might be
Ooh,
waiting.
and it doesn't come out. What's left on Valpo Beacon? We got the Ana, 7 seconds.
Yes, they do have the close spawn, but I don't think that's going to help them out. They're not even removing moving the robot closer. They know exactly what they want. And that is GG for Baldwin.
Mm-hmm. Great games by both teams, absolutely. Oh, look at that. Little dragon came out. That's really cool.
Yes, that was a very good game played from both sides. Very close for a lot of the game. For both of the escort slash maps, it was a very close game. Yeah. They are playing tomorrow, but I don't think we are streaming it. Our lovely casters here do have to do something called Club Team.
Yeah, we got our club team game going on tomorrow.
But
So it should be exciting.
yes, so that is going to be exciting. You will most likely hear about the results of that game somehow. I'm not exactly sure how, but
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
regardless of if we do stream tomorrow, we do have Rocket League coming up this Friday, and that will probably be the last game before spring break. So we are going to wrap it up here. I'm Aubrey.
I'm Jang.
We'll see you guys in the next stream in about 3 weeks.
I can feel the pistol forming in my chest. I'm about to say some things that I've